Actor Sanjay Dutt has been given the second parole for 30 days. Dutt will be leaving for Mumbai tomorrow. The reason this time that he is given for seeking parole is the ill health of his wife Manyata. Headlines today's Pankaj Khelkar is with us on the phone line. First, tell us the details about how long the parole is for, what are the official grounds on which he's been granted it, Pankaj.
Padmaja, this parole is for 30 days. That means Sanjay Dutt will celebrate. Reason given to the administration is his wife Manyata that she is not keeping well, and so that was the reason. Divisional Commissioner over here, Mr. Prabhakar Deshmukh, speaking to Headlines today, said that they cross-checked it, police verified it twice, and the jail authorities, Baroda Central Jail authorities also verified it, and after that they have sanctioned his parole of 30 days. That means he will be with his family for his Christmas as well as New Year.
Pankaj, the fact that Sanjay Dutt has been granted parole yet again is going to stir up yet another debate about how it seems that a lot of leniency is being shown to him. Earlier comparisons had been drawn between him and the case of Zebun-Nisa Qazi. Not only has she not been granted parole, she hasn't even heard back about where her application stands, whereas the actor has now been given the second parole.
Yeah, Padmaja, the allegations will be there, debate will be there that why Sanjay Dutt's leave has been sanctioned twice. Earlier, a furlough of 14 days was sanctioned. Again, the furlough was extended by 14 days, since he had 28 days leave earlier just before Diwali, and now after almost a month, parole of 30 days has been sanctioned. So debate will be there because on one side, Zebun-Nisa Qazi's parole application has been rejected on the grounds that police provided a negative report. Her mother, Ms. Zebun-Nisa Qazi, has been not keeping well, and so she had applied, but her application was rejected. So there is a possibility, there is a space for debate, and that will be a point that will be raised in media as well as activists.
All right, Pankaj Khelkar, thanks very much for joining us on that story. Hope is fading fast for an Indian merchant navy captain whose infant son died while he was incarcerated by authorities in Togo. Captain Sunil James's family says they fear he will not be freed in time even to attend his son's burial. Captain James had docked the MT Ocean Centurion in Togo to report a pirate attack on his ship. After preliminary inquiries, the local authorities instead arrested him and 2 of his crew members on suspicion of colluding with the pirates. Captain James's son died last month after a brief illness, just 10 days short of his first birthday. His family says the father and son spent just 4 months together before he had to set sail again. India's External Affairs Ministry says it is in touch with Togolese officials to secure Captain James's release before his son is laid to rest.
High Commissioner in Accra, who also handles Togo, has been in touch with our Indian Honorary Consul in Togo, who is also in touch through a lawyer with the public prosecutor. We have brought to the notice of the public prosecutor the current situation and sought his assistance to try and work out a solution which will be helpful in the current circumstances.
Joining now is Mr. Marappa. He's the brother-in-law of Sunil James, and he in fact has been speaking on behalf of the family. Mr. Marappa, first of all, accept our condolences. We can't even imagine what your family is going through at present, especially Captain James. Does he know of his child's demise? When was the last time that you heard from him?
Captain James is aware of what has happened with his son. He is very eagerly awaiting the opportunity to return to India so he can complete his son's final rites and put him to eternal rest. So we are in communication with Sunil. The communication in itself is extremely difficult. Since Sunil is all alone in a jail cell in Togo, there's absolutely no one to support him right now. And this is turning out to be one of the most difficult situations we've ever faced in life.
We can imagine in jail and learning of your child's passing away. But Rakesh, also the Indian government is saying they have been in touch with the authorities in Togo. Have you got any response from that country? Are you hopeful that James is going to be back in time for the final rites of his son?
I have nothing else but hope to cling on to right now. What else can we do in this kind of a circumstance? So, yes, I am hopeful. I hope and pray every single day that today is the day where it stops, that we will not have to wait anymore, that we can finally put his child to rest with the dignity that any human being deserves at this point in time.
Rakesh, we know that ever since his arrest, you've been knocking at all possible doors. You've approached the Indian government for help. So far, what has the response been? Because it's been quite a few months since he was arrested in Togo.
The response has always been that the Indian government is looking into the issue. Looking into the issue in itself is such a relative term. It could mean a number of things to a number of different people. So far, every single time I've asked them, what exactly are you doing? I haven't so far received one concrete plan from them. I'm not able to understand their line of thinking. I do not know what the next steps are. Nothing so far has been communicated to me or anyone in the family.
But Rakesh, this question is going to be a difficult one, and you can choose not to answer it. Just in case the Togo government does not relent and the talks to bring James back fail, will you then go ahead and bury Vivan?
That unfortunately is not an option that I have. Me and everyone in the family as well do not have the strength or the courage to look him in the eye, face him and tell him that he does not have the right to bury his own son, his only son. None of us can do that. So if there is someone from the government or the Ministry of External Affairs that is willing to do that on our behalf, I'd like to meet that person.
What about Aditi, your sister and Captain James's wife? How has she reacted? She's of course also been very brave through this entire ordeal. She has also gone to the Indian government. But is there a sense of betrayal because it's been several months and she has to deal with this double tragedy?
Aditi is destroyed at this time. Her life revolved around two things ever since July. One, her efforts towards securing freedom for her husband, Sunil, who is in Togo right now. And the second thing was her son. She used to wake up each morning, cook breakfast, different things every single day just to keep him happy. She used to bathe him, clothe him, walk him in a pram, take him to the local park so he could get out of the house. And her day used to end with her putting him to bed at night. Right now she doesn't have a husband to support her at this time of loss, and she doesn't have her baby boy as well.
We can imagine, of course, we'll keep trying to pursue the Indian government for more action and not just words. Rakesh Marappa, thank you very much for speaking to us, and we will be there supporting your family throughout. Captain James's family, like you just heard, wrote to the Indian officials appealing for help following the death of his son. The Indian High Commission in Ghana has replied saying, and I quote, "The matter was immediately taken up with Togo for the release of Captain Sunil James on compassionate grounds. We are in regular touch with his lawyer." The charge d'affaires at Togo's embassy in Ghana has also been briefed and is in touch with authorities to work towards an early resolution. Moving on, Justice A.K. Ganguly, the former judge of the Supreme Court, has evaded any action from the Supreme Court panel constituted to investigate charges of sexual harassment against him, despite the fact that he's found to have indulged in, and I quote, unwelcome behavior. The high-profile panel thought initiation of any action against him was beyond its mandate. But there is trouble brewing for the judge nevertheless. Here's why.
Not the words you would expect to hear from a man found guilty of unwelcome behavior, charged by those who were once his colleagues. The highest court of the land finding him prima facie guilty of the charge of sexual harassment, but cited legal restraint from initiating any action against him.
Disappoints me as a member of the legal fraternity that the Supreme Court has now chosen to do away with the matter and by saying that he was no longer a judge.
But the former judge cannot breathe easy for three main reasons.
The first reason, late last evening, the Delhi police sent an email to the ex-intern and now lawyer who had made the allegation.
We have requested her to indicate time and place where a statement can be recorded.
National Commission for Women has said that they will pursue the case regardless of what the Supreme Court has said.
महिला आयोग इसमें जरूर स्टेप लेगा और पीछे नहीं हटेगा.
Reason 3. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's letter to the President of India, Pranab Mukherjee.
The fact that the Supreme Court, which dispenses justice, for it to ignore injustice within its own premises is not something that any Indian would be comfortable with.
The similarities of the allegations against two high-profile individuals is uncanny. But the kid gloves with which Ganguly is being handled raises several questions. Why is the President not asking the former judge to step down as the West Bengal Human Rights Commission chief? Should the Supreme Court probe panel headed by the Chief Justice of India have named the victim along with the accused former judge? What was the purpose of the Supreme Court panel if not to determine guilt and initiate action? And why is the Delhi police dragging its feet on filing an FIR against Ganguly?
अगर ये सत्यता है तो खुद ही उन्हें अपने पद से अलग हो जाना चाहिए और उसके बाद जो कार्रवाई है वो कार्रवाई हो.
It's been a year since the intern faced sexual harassment at the hands of a man she worked for. Let's hope the wheels of justice don't move extra slow for one of its own. With Jaskirat Singh Baba and Kamaljit Sandhu in New Delhi, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.